Hey y'all, welcome. Now look, I'm gonna show you guys how to do this easy and comforting shepherd's pie. As the weather starts to cool down, I'm gonna be reaching for these easy one-pot meals that just taste so good and are simple to put together. These fluffy mashed potatoes cannot be beat with the seasoned ground beef and the vegetables. Look, ain't nothing to it but to do it, honey. I'm going to start off by adding 2 tablespoons of salt to a pot of water so that I can boil my potatoes. Now, if you come up in my comments talking about, girl, you going to get hypertension, all I got to tell you is worry about yourself, okay? Because potatoes are bland as ever, okay? I am using these golden potatoes that I have peeled and cut into large chunks. I'm going to boil them for about 15 minutes until they're fork tender. Then I'm going to drain them. While that is cooking, I'm going to put 1.5 pounds of grass-fed beef into my pan. Because this is grass-fed, I feel like these, special organic cows, whatever they be doing, okay, look, they don't be putting on fat like that. So this meat is pretty lean, and so I'm actually not going to drain off the fat or whatever water comes from this because I actually need that in order to cook the half of onion I'm putting in here, the 2 carrots, and I'm also putting 1 finely chopped stalk of celery. All right, you can use whatever vegetables you like. I'm also going to put in a tablespoon of beef bouillon. We're going to be forming a gravy, so this is going to add flavor to that. I'm putting a tablespoon of my onion and herb seasoning. This is salt-free. I made this with some garlic powder, onion powder, a couple of dry herbs. I'll link to that video where I did this, and I'm going to saute this for about 3 to 4 minutes on a medium-low heat because you don't want your beef to overcook at this point. I'm putting in 4 cloves of garlic as well as a few dashes of this Worcester sauce, and I am going to saute this for just about 30 seconds until everything's aromatic. I also tasted it. I feel like you need a little pepper, you know what I'm saying, and a pinch of salt. You guys just have to do that to taste. I'm also adding 1/2 tablespoon of tomato paste. This is going to help add an extra layer of umami flavor to the sauce that we're going to make. Y'all, this was really lean beef, so I actually ended up throwing in a tablespoon of butter. If you have like a 70-30 ground beef, you are definitely not going to need to add any fat, and you can actually drain it off. But adding in this tablespoon of flour, this is how I'm going to start making that gravy, and you need a little fat to add some flavor to it. You know what I'm saying? I can't do, can't be too lean for me. All right, now you need to add as much water as you like to get the gravy, the amount of gravy that your family prefers. I ended up adding about 1.25 cups or so of water. At this point, I put my stove on low because I don't want to evaporate it. But if you like a lot of gravy, you could even add 1.5 cups of water or beef broth. But of course, I'm making beef broth with that bouillon. Then I decided to put in about 1/2 cup of frozen corn. You could also add peas. I just did not have peas that day. All right. I, at this point, turned off the stove because this just needs to unthaw. I mix it together, and then I'm going to smooth it out so that I have enough room to put on my potatoes. Now, if you've enjoyed this recipe so far, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe because, y'all, baby, I be throwing down. And if you follow these recipes, honey, you gonna be throwing down. Let me tell you, okay. Now, these mashed potatoes, honestly, even on their own, are some of the best mashed potatoes I have made. I am going to put in 2 tablespoons of butter. Then I'm going to put in about 1/2 cup of half and half and a little bit of pepper. No salt, because y'all saw all that salt we added at the beginning of this, okay. I'm going to mix this together on low and let this get warm. I'm then going to put in all of my potatoes and use a potato masher to start mixing everything together. Now, one of the reasons why I felt this was so good is because I honestly felt like by using all that salt, they were perfectly seasoned. My goodness, y'all, if you just make this for the mashed potatoes, Now, the next thing I'm going to put in is about 1.5 cups of white cheddar cheese. That cheddar cheese just takes it to the next level and just gives the potatoes another dimension of richness and fluffiness. But baby, if you one of them people where your body can't handle cheese, honey, we going to have to lift up your name on the prayer line, okay, for healing. Because I'm going to tell you right now, ooh, Jesus, cheese is so good. Now, I'm also going to add in 1 egg yolk. That is going to make the potatoes richer. It's also going to give it a nice golden color. You could even put up into 2 egg yolks and something like this. I really love the flavor. And then I am going to begin to plop these mashed potatoes on top of this ground beef mixture. You do want to spread it out because you don't want any of the gravy or anything like that to bubble over. So I just put it on generously and then smooth it out. Then you're going to see that I'm going to use a fork to just make a little design because I'm trying to be cute, honey. I think meals like this are really a one-pot meal situation. However, in order to up the veggie count, I actually paired this with some steamed broccoli and steamed cauliflower. Would you pair this with something, or is your family good to eat this all by itself? Because I feel like it just needs a little bit extra green to the meal. So let me know what you think in the comments. I am going to bake this in a 375-degree oven for about 25 to 28 minutes. You really want to let it go until that top is nice and golden and beautiful. Now, before you dig into it, I think you should let this rest for about 5 minutes. And then, baby, deep dive into those fluffy mashed potatoes. Okay, go on and get it. Honey, your family is going to love you for this recipe. Let me know if you're going to make this. Don't forget that I love you and Jesus loves you. God bless you for watching and supporting my channel. I'll see you next time in Camirra's Kitchen. Goodbye.